Welcome to Onslow County Today. I'm your host, Lisa Whitman-Grice, and summertime is here, and that means all kinds of wonderful adventures and enrichment opportunities for our children. Today we're going to be talking with the folks from Onslow County Park and Recreation, Onslow County Cooperative Extension, the museum, and the public library about how to find adventure and enrichment right here in Onslow County. Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is Carol Trott with Onslow County Park and Recreation. And Carol, it's time for some summertime fun.
Yes, we're ready.
Now tell us about, this is your annual summer camp that you all do, and we want to talk about the ages of students who are eligible. We want to talk about the locations, the fee, and all of the fun things that you have planned and in store for these kiddos. So first things first, who can come to Onslow County Park and Recreation Summer Day Camp?
Kindergarten through age 12.
So they have to have finished kindergarten?
Right.
Okay, so kindergarten through age 12. And with that, you have got them all over the county. Where are your campsites situated?
Southwest Middle, Dixon Middle, Hunters Creek Middle, Swansboro Middle, and Summersill Elementary.
Okay, so kind of spotted all over at every region. Now, with those kiddos, you're allowing how many to come to your camps?
50 per site.
50 per site at each site. So how many campsites? See how good 5 campsites, 50 kids, 250 children a week are with Onslow County Park and Recreation.
Yes.
And with those kiddos at all of those sites, you have some awesome helpers. Tell us a little bit about your camp counselors.
Our staff comes from the school system. 5 staff members are directors, and they are all school teachers. And our other 5 members are school bus drivers. Okay,
so you've got 2 adults, and then you also have some other helpers.
Yes, high school students and SAT students.
Okay, so there's what you call CITs, I think, your counselors.
Yes.
Now, all those sites, 250 kids, kindergarten to 12 years of age. What is it, the fee per child to attend?
The first child in the family is $130, and any additional children, $120. And that's for a 4-week session.
Okay, so that's the next thing we were going to ask you. You're right on track. What are the sessions that are available?
We have 2 4-week sessions, and they start June the 20th through July the 15th, and then July the 18th through August 12th.
But you also have some bonus sessions. Tell us about those.
We have 1 week prior to the 8-week session and 1 week afterwards.
Okay.
And that's one location only, Onslow Pines Park.
So at your main site at Onslow Pines Park, you have a beginning session and an ending session. Okay. So these guys, they're there all day long from what time to what time?
7:30 to 5:30.
That's a long day, but you all feel it. Talk about some of the cool things that they're going to do this year.
They go on approximately 3 field trips per week. Some of the field trips require a small fee, but when they are in the camp, we have lots of games, activities, sporting events, guest speakers, visitors that come in our camps and talk about their education as well as their jobs.
Okay, so you know, one of the things that I'm always taken with, because I've been a guest speaker and the kids come to the museum all the time to see me, is you've got these guys that are itty-bitties all the way up to middle schoolers, and yet they forge such great friendships. Talk a little bit about how the big guys help out the little guys and how much fun they have together.
We have CITs and counselors in training that have actually attended our camps as 6-year-olds. they come back and they help all the younger campers, and they have fun going on the field trips and helping them be away from home and have summer fun.
You know, and that's a great thing to mention. Sometimes, you know, when we're parents and we're thinking, oh, this is their first time away at kind of away other than school, and they're going to be mixing with all these, you know, kids of all different ages. Talk a little bit about that transition and what you all hope that they walk away with at the end of summer camp as they kind of grow up a little bit and learn to be out on their own just a little bit.
Well, we hope they have a fun-packed summer and come each day looking forward to the camp and go home with education as well as fun.
Now, Carol, as always, you know, they need to bring a few things with them. You've got the fee, but what should they also bring every day?
Their lunch and snacks.
Okay, lunch and snacks. And they get a really cool, hold it up here, I'll hold your notes for you here. They get a really cool t-shirt too?
Each camper gets a t-shirt.
And the fun thing is, every year you all tend to change up the color a little bit.
Yes,
So I know
all kinds of neon colors.
So kids have collections of t-shirts from years and years of being in camp. Finally, we want folks to know that they, you know, we're giving them a lot of information today, but you also want to be able to just let folks know where else they can find information. Can you give us your website, please?
Yes, onslowcountync.gov/parks.
Okay, and if they just want to call you and say, hey, Carol, I would love for my kids to be in summer camp, how can they call you?
910-347-5332.
Well, we are looking forward to it. It is going to be a great time. Of course, Carol, we're talking about summer camp, but we know you're going to be back, I hope, in a couple of months because we've got to talk about your big Freedom Festival and your other summer activities. But as always, the first thing we want people to know is it's time for fun.
Oh, yes, with Onslow County Parks and Recreation.
Thanks, Carol.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is Peggy Garner, Director of Onslow County Cooperative Extension. Peggy, we're so glad that you're here.
Thank you.
Now, Peggy, you are kind of sitting in for our buddy Wanda Mills today, who would normally join us to talk about Onslow County 4-H and your summer day camp. So we're just going to pretend. Tell us what Miss Wanda would tell us, because she joins us all the time and is so enthusiastic about what those kiddos are doing all summer long.
Yeah, and she really hates that she was not able to be here today. But we will start our 4-H camp, and this is a day camp where individuals can bring their children to us 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to keep them busy all day long. One of the things that we like to tell people is we pride ourselves on the fact they only get 30 minutes of downtime during the day. We are very much into education. It's not going to be a place where they're just going to watch TV all day. We're going to bring speakers in. We're going to take them places. We are all-inclusive. We like to think of that when you go on vacation, you get to stay at an all-inclusive place. We are all-inclusive, which means that when the parent pays the fee, and that is dependent upon when they pay it. We do have an early bird special, so it's a little bit cheaper. But when they pay that, that's going to take care of a morning break. It's going to take care of a lunch, an afternoon snack, as well as any adventure that we do during that day. So they won't be asked to pay more money for different things depending on which day that they're coming.
Well, you know what? The thing that I keyed in on are two things. One, that it's all-inclusive, and when you're at 4-H, you know you're going to get great food.
True.
But the other thing is that you said, as well as any other adventure. And that is really what 4-H camp is all about, is that experience, isn't it?
It is, and that's what we try to do. We try to remember that not all children have the same background. We will take them possibly to the beach surf fishing. And we forget that just because a child lives in Onslow County and goes to school here, that doesn't mean that they have been to the beach. If their parent or parents don't like the beach, they may not have taken them, or they may have just moved here. We may go to an eating establishment in Jacksonville. Not every child has been there. In fact, we have found that not every child has been to the movies. So on some days, we'll take them to the movie as well.
You know, it's such a great experience whenever I go into your building in the summertime to hear the chatter coming from that room, because they are just having the best time. And I think that that is just from your staff and from your team, it kind of bubbles up, that enthusiasm. Now, we need to know some basics. So first and foremost, age of kids who can go.
Well, I'm going to, because Wanda would be doing this, and
Sure.
I'm not as up on it as she is, ages 7 to 12.
Okay.
And we will start our very first week on June 13th,
Okay.
and that's right after school gets out. So that's considered week 1, and it's Monday through Friday. The only exception to that is the 4th week, and that's the week of July 4th, and so it's July 5th through the 8th. And so it's a little bit cheaper that week because it's 1 day less.
Okay. And you mentioned all-inclusive, so your meals are all covered, all the snacks and everything.
Right.
The other thing that I can recall seeing is with all their projects, you always give your kids the coolest thing is that they get a big old bucket or a big old tote to put all their stuff in for the day and keep up with it, not lose it all over the place.
Yeah, we do. We usually have some type of container. Parents usually like the container because they say, well, I paid for the, go to camp, I get that container because it's a cool container. But that way, when children come in, we do ask them to bring a pillow, a cubby, a sleeping bag or something, because after lunch we try to incorporate, if we're in the center, we try to incorporate about 30 minutes of downtime just for them to rest a bit. But also anything that they bring with them, they can put in there. Any projects that they work on when they finish, they can put in there. And then that way, the Friday afternoon, when they leave to go home, they can take their container with them with all their projects inside.
And they also get something extra. They also get a T-shirt.
They do. One of the things that we like is when we go on our outings, we will have an Onslow County 4-H T-shirt. We have had green ones, yellow ones, tie-dyed ones. So I'm not real sure what Miss Wanda's coming up with and her staff this year. But yes, we do that. That helps us make sure that we have all the children, the people where we're going know that those children belong with us, and it just kind of helps keep everybody together.
Now, we mentioned that this is sponsored. This is an Onslow County 4-H activity, but people might think, well, my kid's not in 4-H. Can my child come to summer camp with you?
Absolutely. Any child can come in. I think one of the nice things is, like you said earlier, is that the evolution of the day. On Monday when children come in, sometimes they'll come in and like, oh, I do know her, oh, I know that guy. And then they're really quiet, but then as the day goes on, the chatter gets more and more, and by Friday, oh well, it's hard to stop that chatter. But just to see the growth that these children take, and I don't really like snakes a lot, but I know they have a purpose. And we do sometimes, we'll bring in different things for the different type of animals for the children to see. And if they want to pet them, if we know it won't be harmful, we'll allow them to do that. And just to see the look in their eyes. And I guess the greatest one was when the Kinston Indians were still here, and we took the children on daycare day. We took them, and to see some of these children that had only seen baseball games on TV and never had the opportunity, that's when you say, this is so worth it. It's so worth it.
Well, and we know this from personal experience. My children have grown up in the 4-H program, and they have made lifelong friends from starting out at day camp.
Right.
It's such a great opportunity. Now, we talked about ages. We've talked about times. We've talked about the weeks. We probably need to mention just what the fee is. That you did mention it was all inclusive, but it varies from week to week, but kind of some baseline fees for folks.
Right. Now, let's see, through April 29th, it's $75 per child per week. After that time, it's $85 for the first child and $75 for an additional child. So we do try to help the families out a little bit.
Sure, sure.
And sometimes parents will come in and they are only having a child registered for the first week because they're really not sure. It may be the first time this child has come to camp. And by Tuesday or Wednesday, they're saying, is there any room? So we try to tell parents ahead of time that if there is room available, we will definitely get them in for the consecutive weeks, but they probably need to go ahead and sign up. And we will have a waiting list as well. Oh, so we try to help out as much as we can. We do need to make sure it does cover the cost. So $75 up until May, and then we have to go up to $85.
All right, $85, but it's like you said, it's all inclusive. It's their own little Onslow County resort.
Right.
got everything
Absolutely.
that they need.
Absolutely.
Well, Peggy, of course, we want to send folks to your website, and we're going to show that on the screen. But also, folks just want to call in and speak to one of your cool staff members and say, "I want to know more about 4-H camp." What's your telephone number?
Telephone number is 910-455-5873, and we'd love for them to call and ask any questions so they feel comfortable, or they can stop in Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, speak with one of the 4-H staff or myself or one of the secretaries. But we do need to ask individuals, if they know for sure that they want to have their child go to camp, to go ahead and we can send them a registration form, we can email it to them, or they can get it off our website, and to go ahead and send that check in. Unfortunately, we are not able to use debit cards or credit cards, but we need them to go ahead and send that money in or to come in, because once the camp is full, and we have a small place, so we don't have a large number of children that we can accept. But first come, first serve.
All right. And just so folks who are might not be familiar with it, let's give them a little bit of a geographic location for the Onslow County Multipurpose Complex, where your offices are located.
Okay. We are at 4024 Richlands Highway, and we are about 4 miles outside of Jacksonville on Highway 258-24 going towards Richlands.
Okay.
About 2 miles before the cutoff to turn to the airport. So if individuals have probably passed by our building if they came from Jacksonville towards the airport.
All right. Well, very good. Well, we are looking forward to a wonderful 4-H summer. Thanks, Peggy.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is a new Onslow County Today friend, Emily Baker, with the Onslow County Museum. Welcome, Emily.
Hi.
Now, Emily, and welcome, of course, to your friend here. Emily, we are here today to talk about summer camp. So all of our guests have been talking about all the cool things that they're doing. And of course, the Onslow County Museum, we have our summer art program, which is now going on its 31st year. And so what we'd love to do is talk about what you're going to do this summer with our summer art students who can attend, what the camp is all about, where it is, the dates, the fees, and of course, why in the world, to begin with, have you brought a knight with you?
So the theme for summer art is Castle Onslow, Medieval Life and Times.
And so that's a theme that the museum, we've done it a couple of times, and it always seems to be a really big hit. For kids that age, and age of summer art campers is what?
8 to 14.
So 8 to 14-year-olds. There's nothing like, jousting and knights and dragons and all that is. Talk a little bit about what you've been planning on for your summer art kids for this summer. What sort of things do you have scheduled for this year?
Okay, so they're going to be making shields and swords, and we're going to make chess pieces and chess sets. We're going to do our own herb gardens, stained glass, make their own gargoyle faces out of clay and clay painting and tapestries, all kinds of stuff.
So you're really immersing them in what medieval life would have been
Yes.
like. One of the things that you showed me already that you made, which I thought was really beautiful, were you're going to teach them how to do calligraphy and illuminated manuscripts.
Yes, ma'am.
For a lot of people, that might seem kind of, well, it's hard, Emily. How are you going to teach that to kiddos?
It is hard, but we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to watch a video, YouTube. A lady teaches how to do calligraphy and do these letters, and the kids are going to be able to put a couple of things, of drawings that kind of go along with their personality or hobbies that they like to do, and of course the coloring. So it's going to be fun.
So what you're doing is you're taking, an art form that is about 900 years old, and then you're teaching them to do this, but in a really modern way.
Yep.
So
Trying to make it relevant for the kids. They understand, but it's today, and it makes them connect with the past.
Now, you've got your week-long day camp, and in one of those days, I know that you all have been planning a field trips. Talk a little bit about the weekly field trip the kids are going to go on.
So every Thursday, we go on our field trip, And this year we're planning to go to Wilmington, and we're going to go downtown first and talk with a professor at UNCW. He's going to come and meet us downtown, and we're going to see a church, talk about stained glass windows and the importance of churches during medieval life. And then after we get done with him, we're going to go see the Airlie Gardens and go and do little scavenger hunts there so the kids can see. Of course, medieval gardens was also something very important. So we're going to go down there and have lunch at the Airlie Gardens.
Fantastic. It's always a lot of fun.
Always.
And I know that the last couple of years, we mentioned that the camp is now over 30 years old. We're starting to get our first round of second generation.
Yes. They're calling, and they said, I did it whenever I was little, and I want my kids to do it. And some of them, kids that were a kid in summer art, are now volunteering for SAT hours. So they're always coming back and helping with the program. And I'm sure they'll probably, when they have children, they'll probably want to enroll them too. So.
Well, that's the whole point, is that we just keep them and then they stay with us forever. Now, Emily, one of the things we want to let people know, we talked about the ages,
Yes.
And we talked about it's a week-long camp. What are the dates of summer art?
So there's 3 weeks out of the summer. The weeks rotate every other week.
Okay.
The first week is June 13th through the 17th.
Okay.
The second week is June 27th through July 1st. And then
Okay.
we skip July 4th week. And then our last week is June 11th or July 11th through the 15th.
Okay, and the cost of the program?
Right now we're doing early bird specials until the end of May. So
Okay.
from May 31st, it's $65 right now. And then after that, it'll go to $75 for a child to attend. If there are siblings, we're doing $10 off. So let's say there's two, and one will pay $65. And then for the sibling, it would only be $55. So it would be $120 for two siblings to come in right now.
Okay, and they can attend one of the sessions, the
Yes.
1-week session. Okay, and they get a field trip, all their art activities, and then of course, like a lot of other camps we've been talking today, they get a really cool t-shirt.
Very cool t-shirt. I got a big old knight on the back of the t-shirt, and it's royal blue. It's a little bit darker than your sweater right now. It's gonna be great.
All right. Well, Emily Baker, I almost said Emily Worrell, but we know that
I
Emily Baker, we are so glad to have you all talking with us about summer art. Of course, we're going to send everybody to the museum website, and if
Yes.
they just want to call Emily and say, tell me more about knights and dragons and jousting, who can they call?
They can call me.
Okay.
The museum's number is 910-324-5008. We also have our registration forms on the front desk. That also is on a link on our website. So they can click on it, fill it out, and they can just write a check and mail it to us, or they can come in physically and drop it off, or fill out the registration form when they come in.
Well, excellent. Well, Emily Baker, thank you so much,
You're
and thank
welcome.
you for bringing
Of course.
your knight in shining armor. Thanks. Welcome back, and joining us now is Valerie Satie with the Onslow County Public Library. Val, we're so glad you're here.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Now, we've been talking all about summer camp, and we've been talking about fun and camp and medieval times and 4-H, and now we are talking about the annual summer reading program. And you and I know, we shared this every year, how important it is that in the summertime our children continue to keep all the wheels turning by reading. Talk to us about the summer reading program this year and all that you all have in store.
Yes, we feel it is so important that kids keep those brains moving during summer. We obviously want bodies out moving, but we want brains to keep going. And one of the things that you can do, the easiest thing you can do, no cost at all, is read. And we want to have programs all summer that encourage kids to come to the library, and if they can't come all the time, to continue to read. Those who can't make it in the library for every program can still participate by reading and filling out logs. We have lots of performers coming this summer. We have lots of fun things planned. So we're looking for a lot of kiddos.
Now, one of the things we tend to typically think of that school-age child, but the Onslow County Public Library has embraced a philosophy that you are never too young to begin reading,
right.
to begin your whole connection with books.
Yep.
Talk about how the summer reading program is really divided up, beginning at the very beginning.
Yes, we would like to have participants from day one, babies on up. We have reading logs and programs designed for babies up and kids up to age 2, 3-year-olds through 5-year-olds, and then of course we have our school-age kids, which, like you said, everybody thinks about. And we have broken out our older kids this year to have 6th through 8th graders participate, and then 9th through 12th graders participate separately. In the past, we've gone 6th through 12th, and we just think, that ain't right. So we've added another division, but we're all working towards the same thing.
Now, it always has a really fun theme, and this year the theme is?
On your mark, get set, read.
On your mark, get set, read. So
Yep.
I know with all your kickoff events and kind of the themes that run throughout, this one really has a decidedly sporty feel.
Yep. I think that we are kind of jumping onto the Olympics bandwagon this summer. We have the Summer Olympics, and we're going to celebrate all things physical.
Okay.
Even if you're not a kid who's into set sports, we're going to do all kinds of fun movement activities. We're super excited. We have a band coming down for the second week of summer reading from Winston-Salem called Big Bang Boom, and it's a kids rock band.
Oh, that's cool.
And they're going to get us going, get us moving and started for the summer. So.
I love, because we share our space with the Richlands branch, I love to see all the kids coming in. And what I really like is that you have taken something that we would tend to think of as a passive activity, and you've made it way competitive.
It's true. It's true. We want them to compete with themselves for the most part. I mean, they get to keep track of the hours that they've read, and the only person that they're really competing with is themselves, although we have set a system-wide challenge.
Okay.
We're trying to challenge each other as a group. Last year, we read over 12,000 hours.
That's amazing.
We like to think about every hour a kid spent reading was 1 hour they weren't sitting in front of a TV or on a device or playing a game. But this year, help me, we're going to try to do 14,000 hours.
Awesome.
14,000 hours, and that's the challenge. We want to work together to meet this challenge.
14,000 hours spent traveling, spent adventuring, because that's what books are all about.
Exactly. That's right. It's all fun. It's not 14,000 hours of homework, This is good time.
Now, speaking of fun, I hear that if they meet that 14,000 hour mark, Valerie, you have something special planned.
Yes, last year I was trying to sweeten the deal, and I didn't realize how this would work for me. But last year I dyed my hair blue. I told them I would dye my hair blue if they met the goal. And this year I'm going to let them weigh in. If they can read 14,000 hours, I'll let them choose. I'll go blue, I'll go purple, or I'll go pink.
What about all three?
If they can get to 15, I'll do all three.
Okay. We've heard it.
That's
the
right.
challenge,
Now
the
it's a
gauntlet.
record. I'm in trouble.
Now, we've talked about who can go, and we want everybody to know that this is at all of your branches.
Yes.
So remind people where your branches are.
Obviously we have the library in Jacksonville, and then we have libraries in Richlands, Swansboro, and Sneads Ferry.
Okay. So all the branches.
Yes.
All these ages. You're
Yep.
going to kick off early on. Early June, when is your kickoff?
Yep. We're going to kick off 4 nights in a row. So we're going to start on the 14th of June in Swansboro. 15th is in Sneads Ferry. The 16th is in Richlands. And then the 17th will be at the main library. All of our kickoffs this year are in the evening.
Okay.
We decided that we were fighting nature. Why are we doing this at noon? So we invite everybody to come out 6 to 8 in the branches, 5 to 8 at the main library in Jacksonville, and sign up. You get a bag for registering and a promise of a good time all summer.
And the other thing that we want to remind everyone is all Onslow County Public Library programs is the fee is?
It's free.
Absolutely.
It doesn't cost you anything.
Nothing for all that adventure.
Not one thing.
and the promise of some purple hair, maybe.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Do they have it in them? We'll see.
Now, Val, of course, we're going to send everybody to your website so that they can see the registration. But if they need to call the main branch, what is the main number there where they can call
It's
and get?
910-455-7350.
Okay, or just visit the branch in their community.
Absolutely. Yep.
Well, we thank you so much.
Thanks.
We're looking forward to, ready?
On your mark, get set,
Set.
read.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Lisa.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and we have invited Emily Baker and Peggy Garner to join us again because you two, our departments, are collaborating on yet another summer camp, summer enrichment program available to our youth, and we're going to be talking about Wetland Wonders. So Peggy, to start with, tell everybody a little bit, give them a little bit of background about what I still really consider our new Environmental Education Center.
Well, once we were able to go into the Environmental Education Center, which is in collaboration with the Sneads Ferry Library, we felt that there was a great opportunity, if we had this Environmental Education Center, that we should allow the children to go there and to educate them on ways that they would be better stewards of our environment. And so the Onslow County Museum and the Cooperative Extension Service sat down together and came up with a curriculum, and we've been doing it ever since. And so we're looking forward to the last week of July, being able to educate these children again on how to become great stewards of our country and our world.
You know, we've been in the site now officially a little over 2 years, and every time I walk in, I'm kind of blown away by the beauty of not just the building, but the surroundings.
Oh, yeah.
Peggy, you're lucky because you get to drive by it almost every day and see it almost every day. Tell folks a little bit about that setting there in Sneads Ferry where our EEC is located.
Well, it's right on Highway 210. So for those people in the county that know Four Corners, you go through Four Corners, and it's down on the right-hand side. People think there's like some grain silo or something on the outside, and it's really not. It's a cistern, and that's where water is collected, and then it can go out to feed the plants, to water the plants, I should say. And when you go in, along the windows are different scenes from Sneads Ferry. It may be a turtle, or it's fishermen, there's netting there, just great pictures. There's a bench where you can just sit outside if mosquitoes aren't bad and the weather's right, you can sit there. Once you go into the door, there's a sitting area to your left. We have a couple of classrooms, which are nice, and they are used all the time by people in the area and other people coming to the area that want to bring associations or club meetings or whatever. You go through the library, and one of the things that I always love when I walk in there is the colored concrete. And the concrete are two different colors, so you're either on land or you're in the water. And the library is so much larger than what we had in Sneads Ferry. But then when you go past what we consider the library part into the Environmental Education Center, just the mass of education that you can have in one room. You can see a lot of animals that are there now for educational purposes, that these animals actually lived in Onslow County, whether it be an alligator or a bear or a bird, they're all there. And then there's different stations throughout that area where you can go and learn. You see different birds, different sounds, feel different things. It's just a great place to go to learn more about the environment.
Well, we worked so well together on that project that we really, like you said, here was an opportunity to carry it forward. And now Emily has joined us just last summer as full-time staff. And so last year, Emily, was your first round of Wetland Wonders summer camp with 4-H. Talk a little bit about how that differs from maybe a lot of other camps that folks might see.
So Wetland Wonders focuses a lot what Peggy has already said about the building, about the environment and how we can learn to protect it because we're just here living on the earth. You know, we have to take care of where we live. And that's really what Wetland Wonders is more about. We learn more about forestries and the animals and the weather and water runoff and how to prevent soil erosion, and all of these things is really what Wetland Wonders is about.
Now, the camp is open Monday through Friday, the last week in July. What ages is it open for, Emily?
8 to 12.
8 to 12. And the fee, Peggy?
Is $85.
Okay. And you mentioned in our earlier interview when we were talking about 4-H camp, you like to use a great term, all-inclusive. And this is also an all-inclusive camp.
It is an all-inclusive camp, which means that when the parent pays that fee for the child to come that week, that provides transportation to any venue that we may go to, a morning snack, lunch, afternoon snack, and any activity that we do. If we go to the beach, of course, that's not going to cost anything except the transportation. And that's one of the things I like about it, because I do live in the southern part of the county in Sneads Ferry. Is for parents that their children, they live in Sneads Ferry, Verona, Holly Ridge, they can take their children straight there, and a staff member will be there to greet them. And the other children in the county, they can go to the Onslow County Multipurpose Complex at 4024 Richlands Highway, bring their child there, and we will have a school bus with a bus driver, and they will take them down to the Environmental Education Center. So it's not the expectation that the parent is going to have to get the child to Sneads Ferry. They will allow us to do that if they will.
Awesome. Now, they kick off their adventure, and Emily, already you have been busy working with Ms. Wanda Mills from Onslow County Cooperative Extension and 4-H program about some of your activities through the week. What are some of the things that you've already kind of got on the calendar that you're planning?
So this year we're going to do a hike from Mountains to Sea Trail, right there, Stones Creek. Maybe 5 minutes away from the Environmental Center. So we're going to hop on the bus, go over, and we're going to have someone talk to the kids about forestry and talk about safety and hiking. And along the way and in the hike, they're going to pick up pine cones, because we're going to do a pine cone activity after when we get back to the Environmental Center. They're going to pick up leaves, because we're going to do a photosynthesis activity with them. So they're going to kind of go and be explorers and gather and bring it back and make arts and crafts projects. So that's just one day that we have planned out of the camp. Another day we're going to talk about the weather and do activities relating to that. So each day is going to kind of have its own little topic, and we're going to focus on that and have these projects and activities that relate to that topic.
And again, it's Monday through Friday, full adventure and all-inclusive. And the last thing that I saw you designing in the office the other day is you're working on your Wetland Wonders t-shirt. Tell us about it.
Yes, it's going to be fabulous. I'm really excited about it. We're doing a little bit different this year. Every year we do different colors, and of course we have our Wetland Wonders, but this year we're going to have a beautiful herring on the t-shirt. So it's going to be that periwinkle blue, and he's going to be focused on the back of the shirt eating that fish, and on the front we're going to have Wetland Wonders, but the W's are going to be his little feet, his little paw prints. So it's going to be, it's just beautiful. I love it.
Well, it's always a beautiful camp. I mean, it's always a lot of fun, and the kids who come out of it, you know, are just like ready for National Geographic.
Yes.
They're just adventurers. Peggy, tell folks how to reach your office if they'd like more information, telephone number and website.
Okay, they can call us at 910-455-5873. They can also stop by the office, which is 4024 Richlands Highway. To pay for the camp, they'll either need to mail that in. They can go to our website. All they have to do is just go online and whatever search engine they want to use, they can do Onslow County Cooperative Extension Service and bring that up. See the flyer. That way they'll make sure that they have the dates, which is July 25th through 29th. $85. They can stop in and pay for the registration, or they can mail it in.
All right. And of course, Emily, tell us how to reach the museum.
They can call us at 910-324-5008, or they can go onto our website and the Environmental Center's website through our Facebook page. We also have the registration form up there through a link. So our website would be Onslow County
nc.gov/museum. There we go. Right. Well, thank you both so much. We are looking forward to another fabulous Wetland Wonders.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As always, we thank you for joining us for Onslow County Today, and a very special thank you to each of our guests. Carol Trott from Onslow County Park and Recreation, Peggy Garner from Onslow County Cooperative Extension, Valerie Satie from Onslow County Public Library, and Emily Baker from the Onslow County Museum. That's right, summertime is calling, and it's a great time to get out and explore your Onslow County Today.